Hey, this is Matt. I just decided to do a video for you on a El Cheapo Brinkman smoker. Now this is a modified version of the normal El Cheapo Brinkman that you usually read reviews on, and I think there's several videos on YouTube about it, but this is actually their box vertical smoker, and it's actually an upgraded edition from their old one. The older version used to have one single door on the front. As you can see, there's two handles there. There's actually two doors, and you can access your fire pit without having to lose all your heat. I want to show you a couple ways that you can get your heat up in the bottom of these, because these smokers are really designed for backyard barbecue enthusiasts. They're not designed for competition. If you're watching this and you're a competition barbecuer, you can just save yourself some time and not even worry about this unless you're trying to help someone else out who doesn't do competitions. And if you got the money, obviously the Weber Smoky Mountain is going to be the best smoker you can get. But if you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is a great smoker for $60 at Walmart or Home Depot. You can actually get the bullet style, the round bullet style smoker that's also a great version for $30 or $39. I used to have that smoker, but there are some benefits to this style if you want to spend just a little bit more money. One of them being that everything is sort of self-contained in this unit, and I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. But just to kind of talk about some of the ways that you can actually get a hot fire and sort of modify your firebox in this, and you're going to have to do that if you do smoking on this. You can actually purchase this small little kettle grill for $20 from Walmart or Home Depot, and you can see there that I have a metal can. Now that's just a coffee can. I think that was a chock full of nuts brand of coffee. If you cut the bottom out of that, you fill the charcoal all around the outside of that can, just unlit charcoal. And then you see my smoker there, or my chimney starter in the background. You'll want to get one of these if you're a barbecue person, or if you're going to do barbecue. You need a chimney starter. Any charcoal guy, whether you're grilling or barbecuing, you need a chimney starter, because you really will be healthier by not using chemicals on your charcoal, and you really just don't need it. It's going to take the same amount of time. In fact, it may actually be quicker to use this chimney starter. And you just put some newspaper under that, fill it up with coals, and light it. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And then take your lit chimney full of hot coals, put it in the middle of that can there, and then lift that out with a pair of tongs. And that's called the minion method. Now that will slowly burn outward, and that'll give you a good long burn. This actually comes with a grate in the bottom that helps you with your airflow. There's a damper there. You may can see that right here on the outside. That also will let you control some airflow. My suggestion is to put this kettle grill into the bottom of your smoker. It will actually fit inside of this firebox. It is a little bit cumbersome to get it in and out, and that can be a little bit dangerous, but you can do that. But put that vent that you see there right over here, where airflow will come right in through this other vent, and that'll just get you a little bit of air. I have actually seen some people take a fan unit that's a battery operated fan and clip that onto the vent there, and they actually did that with a Weber Smoky Mountain. Now you can do that and you can get your heat up if you like to cook at higher temperatures. But if you're low and slow, this thing will easily get up to 250 degrees and maintain that temperature. One of the benefits of using this kettle grill here in there is that it does hold more charcoal. So if you use that in the bottom, you can actually leave it alone for a lot longer and not have to tend to it as much. But I would suggest either using that or doing the second modification that I want to show you. Now, I decided that even with this kettle grill, you're having a lot of ash buildup and you're still having to tend to it a little bit. So what I decided to do is what a lot of people have done, and I basically have turned the charcoal pan inside here into a grill wok. Now, you can actually purchase a grill wok for $15, but if you want to save that money, you can convert the fire pan that comes with this smoker into a grill wok. And what you do is you drill a bunch of 3/8 inch to 1 inch holes. I would suggest 1 inch because you want them to be big enough for ash to fall through easily, but you don't want small or half-size briquettes to be falling through very easily either. So about 3/8 inch to 1 inch. Make sure you drill the holes in the bottom, and also make sure you drill them all around the side so you can get plenty of airflow, and that will actually allow you to be able to use the setup that they give you here. Now inside here, what I've done, and you can see my fire's going pretty good there, put a piece of tin foil on the bottom. This is just to kind of catch your hot ash. Now you don't have to do this, but I think it's a good idea. And you can see here, let me grab my tongs here, and you can see that by using the fire pan that comes with it, you can slide that in and out and access your coals. That's the beauty of having this split door unit. The more of these wood chunks that you use, the hotter your fire is going to get. And charcoal is just not designed to get that hot and burn as well. So you could also use some lump charcoal, and that would work well. But one of the good things about doing this, if you drill these holes like I'm talking about doing, and again, if you purchase the grill wok, it will actually sit on these racks that you can see there on the left-hand side of the screen there. But if you use this rack setup that we have here, you can do the same thing. Drill those holes in here. You can actually bang this back and forth against the bottom here, or the back of the unit, and that's going to let your ash drop. You can bang the bottom. That will actually keep you from smothering out your coals. And if you'll do this, you can get to your coals a lot easier and not lose the heat that you have built up in the top here. Now, another trick to use, and this is what I would suggest no matter what you're doing, unless you're smoking a turkey and you need to use fruit juices like apple juice or something like that, take your water pan and fill it with playground sand. And you can look here and you can see I've actually taken some tin foil here, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's covered with tin foil. Now what that will allow me to do is reuse that sand over and over again, because the grease is going to fall down on top of that, and that'll allow you to be able to do that. Now I want to show you something here. You will want to invest in one of these little portable thermometers. You just run this through the vent hole here, and that will let you keep an eye on the temperature of your meat. You can't tell, but I'm at 116, so I still have several hours. That's why I'm making this video. But you will actually be able to tell the temperature of your meat here through the eye without having to check it that much. I do want to show you my meat. I do want to show you something that you will also want to do. A lot of people are going to take and put right here another gauge. I would recommend you do that, because as you can see here, we're at about 230 on this outside gauge. Now I've stayed around this temperature, but if you look here, I've got an oven thermometer just hanging inside here. It says we're at 275. We're about 50 degrees off on this thing. Now that's a Boston butt I've got on there. I have taken a rib rack, or actually a roasting rack from Home Depot, and cut it in half, and that's allowed me to be able to put more ribs in there. But what I would suggest you do is either put a new gauge in here so you can tell what temperature you're really at, or you can take this temperature out, this gauge out. Now you may have some problems finding a gauge that's the right size. On all of my smokers, the original Bullet El Cheapo and this one as well, this gauge has been off, so you'll want to adjust that. But you can easily do that with an oven thermometer, and then you can tell the temperature of your meat with one of these. It's even better if you've got one that's wireless and you can walk away from it, but that works good enough. Another good thing about this is on a hot day, and I wouldn't do this on a cold day because it's not quite hot enough to do this. Because of this style of smoker, it's flat instead of the round bullet style. You can actually take, and if you've got something you want to just warm up like buns or something else, you can put it in a tinfoil pan, cover it with tinfoil, and then just load it right there on top, and that actually conducts a little bit of heat. Now I'm touching it, and it's starting to get a little bit hot because, as you can see, my fire's up. But as long as you just be careful with that, you can kind of keep things warm. Now again, I mentioned having playground sand. This was a tip that I found other people talking about. It's a common misconception that your liquid actually is what moistens your meat up. That's just not true. It actually is, your meat is tenderized and moistened by the fibers inside of the meat breaking down. So the moisture inside of there is being created by the meat. So it really does not matter whether you have moisture in there or not. And you know, if you think about it, once you've got that nice bark on there, which you'll get that within the first hour, you're really not getting any water penetrating the meat. So unless you're trying to add flavor from water, and that's why I say if you're doing something like a turkey and you want to add apple juice or something like that, you really would not need that water. And you don't have to keep checking and putting the water in there, because that sand is obviously not going to run out. Another thing about the sand is it actually helps you to cook at a little bit warmer temperature. It takes a little bit more heat to get sand warmed up than it does water. If you just think about how the sun will come out and the land will still be cold, but water will warm up a lot quicker. It's kind of that same principle. It takes a lot more heat to warm up dirt than it does water, but once that dirt is warmed up, it's going to stay warmer than the water will. Now, you're not going to have evaporation, and you're also just going to have a better turnout there with that sand, and you can reuse that over and over again. The final thing I want to say about this unit, the good thing about it is it's self-contained. Now, a lot of the bullet smoker modifications, they work great. I tried them and I did them, and they work well. But the problem is, you know, it's not always convenient timing when you need to access your coals on the bottom, and you need to tend to that fire. With the bullet style ECB, you have to actually lift the whole unit off of your coal pan, and if you've got a pan full of water in there instead of sand, you're actually going to risk pouring some of that water out and putting your coals out, and also burning yourself. Where with this unit, you can access everything through those sliding trays a lot easier. And so this may help some of you who are trying to decide on a smoker, or maybe you have this particular one, and you might want to make some of these adjustments. One last thing that I have seen done, I have not tried it yet, you can actually buy some big green egg felt, and right inside of this door here, you can line it. That will help keep from having all your heat escape, which I'm not really noticing a big leak here, so I would not necessarily say that you need to do that, but these are some modifications that maybe might help you. Decided to make this video because I haven't seen a lot of people commenting on this particular style of smoker. Now, I will tell you right now it's probably in the high 40s, or actually high 30s, low 40s. Started this morning at about 6 o'clock putting the meat on, and right now it's 8:25, so we've been cooking for about 2.5 hours, and we're at 118 degrees. So we're going to cook this to about 180. That's going to let us be able to pull this pork apart real easy, and I think this will turn out just well. But hopefully this helps you, and if you're a Brinkman guy, you can feel free to comment on this video with any other tips that you have that might help, especially if you're looking at the square vertical smoker here from Brinkman for $60. It's a great deal, cheap way out. Hope this helps.